So yesterday I promised content, a review with the dirt cheap dad gravel bike that had been built for my friend Nick. But I am going to backpedal a little bit on that promise. Mostly because when I made that commitment, I sort of figured that, the weather people were being just slightly over dramatic on what the rain was actually going to do today. Turns out they weren't lying. Right when I need them to be wrong. Now normally I wouldn't be one to shy away from riding in the rain. However, I'm not really interested in being the one to fully accelerate taking away the finish on these, yes, machined, you can see the machining there, machined but colored brake tracks. And if you've ever raced cross, or if you ever spent any time outdoors riding in the rain, you know that the grit just loves to get onto brake pads when it is wet outside. If I'm going to ride this thing, I'm going to do it in the dry and let all the bad stuff happen to Nick when he receives it. Just kind of feels like the right thing to do. Tomorrow will hopefully be the day when we do the full breakdown and review of this glorious piece of shed machinery. Now, that being said, for my own sanity, I still need to spend some time talking to the camera to create some form of content. And I can't really think of a better time than now, today, when it is, as it is outdoors, less than favorable riding weather. Where am I going with this? To take the time to organize all of my plans, ideas, and projects equipment-wise all into one concise, easy to find place that we can pick from freely. Now, considering it works as efficiently and well as it does for the guys on Roadkill to write all lists and project boards on pieces of cardboard, I see no reason as to why I, a lowly cycling YouTuber, would be any different. In no real particular order at all. The bike that was just behind me, the red Crux, it's got some work that needs to be done. A brake hose for the rear and a brake bleed. Should be easy enough to take care of, just gotta get the parts. Number 2, again, in no particular order, this thing, the Schwinn Moab 1. This one's funny because there is no doubt that it does indeed look complete. However, there are, off the top of my head, 3 things that need to be completed before I would ever consider this safely rideable. Number 1 being the front tire still does not have sealant in it. You could totally ride it as is right now. It doesn't lose air pressure that fast. Really, it's 2 days worth before the rim is back on the ground. However, it is one of those things that's in the back of your mind. If you do get one of these, puncture style flats, the sealant is always nice to have to make sure that you don't lose air on your ride. 2, which you would never know if I didn't tell you, but the front rotor does not have the proper lock ring on it. It's on there mostly just for show right now. Knowing that I had to go source the proper lock ring so that I could actually tighten it and torque it down so that the rotor doesn't go anywhere. And the third thing, which very much came up as a point of contention in the comments of the video when this bike was built, understandably, is the shortness of the steer tube in relation to the stem. Currently, right now, the steer tube probably ends right about here. That gives me a length of about 8 or 10 millimeters of just void. It is plenty above where the bolt actually tightens down. It is getting a good grab on the steer tube. But as someone did bring up in the comments, it's never something that you really want to have in the back of your mind. And so I tend to agree with that commenter, even though I don't love the way that it was delivered. And thankfully, in my case of solving this issue of needing a very low stack height stem, there is the Cintas flat force stem. Most stems use 40 millimeter stack height. This thing uses a 28 millimeter stack height. Actually, it might even be lower than that. Oh, and you know what? A nice to have, a real nice to have would be, is it 2 peas and dropper? We'll see what money is like. Can you hear the wind and rain? Really annoying. Conveniently beside it, this thing, the Poseidon. I have got a lot of plans for this bike. And thankfully I have a really good amount of the parts already. Hurts me to say this, but this bike is going to go Ultegra. Yes, it is true. This bike is going to go baller Ultegra hydraulic 11-speed This is gonna be sweet. I recognize that it sort of falls out of line with my normal, you know, ride reasonably priced bikes type thing, but here's the thing. I managed to get a hold of both of these levers, this rear derailleur, which is missing a piece, and this front derailleur for $250. If that is not reasonable, I don't know what is. It had to be done. Oh yeah, it needs sealant too. Frig, I like this bike. This is currently what I have set aside and ready for a dual suspension mountain bike that I want to own. This bike I need to create some content with. I don't need to do anything to it yet. Angela's mountain bike will always be fine because she's not ridiculous like me and she's happy with how it is. This thing is perfect. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm just going to ride it. This actually does have something that needs to be addressed. So, while I haven't actually gone to go ride this thing yet, I have had it in the stand and I have kind of hopped around on it in here. And I can kind of have an idea how everything works. It is so big, I'm not used to a bike this big in this shed. And it was something that I was a little bit concerned about when the part showed up, and then more concerned about when someone else sort of confirmed my suspicions in the comments when they saw it themselves. So, little known fact, when we ordered these brakes, they were indeed marketed as Tektro Mini V for road cyclocross use. Something that I knew I wanted to see in the title description. The price did have me a little bit weary, and we pushed on anyway. Unfortunately, I think we did end up with a bit of a fraudulent seller who was just marketing a typical set of Tektro V brakes as Mini Vs, knowing people were going to get duped in this exact way. And I still have pretty good lever action. Still love looking at this thing. So dad bike. I'm still going to ride this tomorrow the way it is right now because I'm very curious to see how these brakes perform and if they're ever going to be a problem. Okay, did you catch that? Those are Chromag grips. The gold and brown Chromag grips that are on this bike are Chromag. So there's this thing, the dirt cheap gravel bike that became the dirt cheap commuter. All of the parts that come off the Poseidon is gonna go on this bike with drop bars. And also I'm gonna put this photo up. I'm gonna just show it to you. Look how cool this bike looks with fenders and drop bars. It just, every time I see it, I'm like, damn, I shouldn't put those flat bars on. Oddly enough, I think this is the build I'm most excited for. I love cheap, crappy stuff. It's so fun to mess with. A couple of the stragglers, they include this felt carbon S5 that I'm never going to use again. And last but not least, this box I've alluded to many times, still have not opened, still am not going to open until I have wheels. So if you have a set of fixed gear wheels with a somewhat wide rim that you're looking to get rid of, reach out to me on Instagram and let me know. I might just take you up on it. Also, if you've got a full suspension frame with 120 or 130 mils of travel and a 29-inch wheel, do the same. Let me know. Okay, let's make this official. I think the best spot for all of this. Take a screenshot of this, pick which one you want to see, let me know in the comments. It's the one that I'll try and make happen first. Also, this panel doesn't get nearly enough love, so I'm going to show it off a little bit. Thank you again, Corey. Okay, those are all the things that I want to accomplish. The list is somehow shorter than I thought it was going to be. I guarantee you I am forgetting something, and I'm glad I made this video again because I know I made a list not long ago of all the things I wanted to do. I don't know where that list went. Okay, support the channel on Patreon. A bunch of other people have, and also, when you're buying things on Amazon, just come to the channel. Click one of the links. Purchase through there. Proceeds come here. It's all good. Kind of feel like I'm begging now.